Such a big stage, and I only get 5 minutes. What a shame. Hello, everyone. My name is Rui Su, and I'm the co-founder of JuiceFS. Now, if you follow open source software projects, you've probably seen the news regularly over the past few years that some well-known open source project has changed its license agreement yet again. I've collected a few examples. From 2018 to this past year, some very famous projects have made this change, like MongoDB, CockroachDB, ES, Grafana, MinIO, HashiCorp. HashiCorp has Terraform, which is extremely well known. And of course, the famous Redis. I'm sure that if you're a developer, you've probably used at least one of these projects, and you can see that every project has moved from a relatively permissive license to a more restrictive one, whether for commercial interests or for community management. Today, I'll share my own experience and offer a different path, one that's even the opposite of theirs, as another possibility. Yes, the project we're working on, JuiceFS, is a distributed file system designed for the cloud. And over the past few years, it's been mostly used in data-intensive AI pipelines. I've listed some logos here. Here are some examples of some of our current users, including organizations that you might recognize. However, JuiceFS was not actually an open source project from the very beginning. In 2017, our CEO and I, just the two of us, started this project. At the time, I was in China and he was in the US. And just like that, the two of us got started. At that time, we only offered a cloud service. It wasn't open source. But in the 3 or 4 years that followed, I personally spoke with over 200 customer companies. About 10% of them started using our product. But from the other 90%, I realized that a file system is needed in a very broad range of scenarios. People in different situations had different needs for our capabilities, and we couldn't possibly be a jack of all trades in engineering. So to give more people a chance to use it, we decided to release an open source version in 2021. This created a clear difference in positioning from our initial cloud service. With the cloud service, our goal is to handle large-scale, data-intensive computing workloads. But with our community edition, we wanted to provide something that was simple, easy to use, and easy to maintain. Because when you need a file system, you often don't have a lot of data, and you don't need it to have great performance. The most important thing is that it's easy to deploy and maintain. You can see from the architecture on the right that we really only built a client. Compared to older systems like Ceph or HDFS, this is simpler by, well, maybe an order of magnitude. It was very well received. But at the time, our earliest release was published under the AGPL v3 license. Later on, we also realized that in addition to providing a POSIX mount, we also needed to offer access via an S3 API and integration through an SDK. But under the AGPL license, these features would create integration challenges for our users. In fact, large enterprises, especially some major American companies we heard from, would see the AGPL license and immediately decide against using our software. This was due to some uncertain legal risks. So, to allow more people to use it, to fulfill our original goal, and also because it complements our commercial product, we decided that a year later, in 2021, when we released our first GA version, we migrated from AGPL to Apache 2.0. We chose a more open license. We hope that with this new license, everyone could put aside their concerns about legal risks and adopt our product more widely and more quickly. 1 minute left. Okay. And it worked. We adopted a dual core strategy. The enterprise version still has a closed source core, and then in the open source version, we provide a simpler solution for everyone. In the year after we changed the license, we indeed saw much better adoption globally. You can see that we basically have active clusters on every continent. After we switched to the Apache license, we also became, in the stars open source storage field, perhaps the fastest project on GitHub to reach 10K GitHub stars. It took about 36 months. And it also, actually on the commercial side, it had a very positive impact on our go-to-market. And those large enterprises that were initially hesitant also adopted it. This includes companies in China, in the US, and actually many others that we don't even know about. All right, so today I just wanted to share this possibility, which is based on our own experience. I hope it's helpful for everyone. Okay, great. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you.